All right, so the first video, as I mentioned, is going to be we talking about a little bit of different instruments in salsa music and what timing do they play on and how it kind of works and what rhythms they play, etc. First of all, before I start, I wanted to encourage everyone to download an application called Salsa Rhythms. Okay, it's available on iTunes. It's got a photo of two maracas and it's like a red logo and it looks like this when you download it. It's a really good application because what it allows you to do, it allows you to understand the composition of salsa music. So it has, oh, sorry, I'm trying to get the light out of this. It has different instruments on there that you can highlight. And once you highlight those instruments, then you can choose the rhythm that they'll be playing. And I'll talk a little bit about that. Yeah. And then when you press play, it will start playing that rhythm or that instrument, yeah? Now what you can do is always like add more instruments to it, yeah? And then you can take them away, okay? You can also use this meter at the top, if you see that dot that's moving, to pick out the timing. Or if you can't do that, there's a automated timing feature on there as well, where you can like
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1,
get
2,
it to
3,
sync with you.
5.
So essentially, it's a really useful application, and you can use it a lot to kind of understand more about music and about salsa and the composition. Now I'm going to go through them one by one. The first one I'm going to start with is called the clave. Okay, now the clave has there's different claves in salsa music, but essentially claves are these two wooden sticks originally, which the musician plays a syncopated pattern on it. And there's two different types of claves. There's a rumba clave and then there's son clave. And then within rumba and son clave, there's 2-3 clave and then there's 3-2 clave. Now, to be honest with you, to my experience teaching students about the difference between the claves doesn't really make that much of a difference. But all you need to know is the clave is like the heartbeat of salsa music. Okay, so it's like the heartbeat or the core of salsa music. And you normally see people clap on the social floor or you know, most salsa music follow the clave pattern. So this is kind of like, this is what a clave sounds like. This is a 2-3 son clave, yeah? The next instrument on the list that I want to talk about are the congas. Now, congas are these instruments that I wish I had instruments to play for you a little bit and to show you myself at home, but I wasn't able to do that, especially due to the holidays, and I don't have a complete set at home, so I felt like this was a little more appropriate. Now, the congas, to me, are one of the most important instruments in teaching students because what the congas do, the congas normally set the rhythm behind salsa music, okay? Now, the rhythm is set by the entire band, but congas have a really prominent feature in there. And in teaching students, I find that teaching about congas and how they play makes a big difference in people's dancing, especially if you're trying to learn on two. It's really important for you to be able to learn the rhythm that the conga plays when the band is playing salsa, which is tumbao or marcha. People call it different things. And normally tumbao sounds like this. So now, I'll make another video and we'll talk about the importance of tumbao and how we can dance to it. But I just wanted to let you know that you can go and kind of play around with. Hold on, can you see this? How can I make you see this? Yeah. This is weird. This is not showing. Oops. Ignore that. Okay, so I'll bring this a little further forward. You still can't see anything. Kind of now. Okay, there we go. So essentially, you can choose different patterns that the tumbao plays and essentially you can choose what different rhythms you want to choose for the tumbao or for the congas to play. So tumbao is the one that is normally played when you're dancing salsa, and it sounds like that I played before. You can also put it to things like, let me connect this sound system one more time. You can also put it to things like wawanko. Yeah, so this is the rhythm people dance rumba to. Yeah, or things like caballo, which is what people dance like, you know, more the swingy or pachanga sort of steps. Yeah, so you can play around with this a little bit. Cool. All right. The next instrument on the line is the salsa bell or the cowbell or the campana. Okay. Now this is a really important instrument because this instrument has a little bit of significance on when the band changes phases. Okay. Now campana is like this bell. Give me 1 second. Campana is like this bell that mainly marks your core beats 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay, and it's a really good instrument for those who are learning on 1. Yeah, to be able to mark the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It marks 1, 3, 5, 7. So it's like really prominent for those people who want to dance on 1. The problem with the campana is it's not always apparent in salsa music. Normally the campana or the cowbell comes in when the band changes phases. Okay, so when the band changes phases and it goes from like a lower phase to a higher phase, the campana kicks in. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, like when the band goes from like an intro into a mambo or something. Yeah, the campana kicks in, the brass kicks in, the energy of the song elevates, but it's more like a instrument that is add-on. So it's not always apparent in salsa. And it sounds like this. 1, 3, 5, 7. 1, 3. Now this is the main sound. There's different types of campana. Yeah, and then there's like, but essentially you hear that 1, 3, 5, 7 being the main sound of the campana. Now the other percussive instrument, the next one is called the timbales. Now timbales are those 2 round drums that if you've seen, like, it has a really like strong sound or strong feel to it, and like if you've seen some of my work, I love dancing timbales because it's like very sharp and hard sounding. But essentially what the timbalero will do when the song is low or low key, he'll play cascara. Cascara is when the timbalero plays on the shell of the on the cascara means shell sort of thing. It's on the side of the drum, not on the main part of the drum. They play on the side, and it sounds like this. Cascara sounds like this. So the musician is playing on the side of the drum, yeah? Yeah? And so when the music kind of changes phases, sometimes you see the timbalero going from down here up onto the bells, okay? Don't have to worry too much about this. Just maybe just to know a little bit about this is fine. Now, the next instrument is the bongos. The bongos play a rhythm called martillo, which is also the rhythm that's played in bachata, okay? And it sounds like this. There's an emphasis on the 4 and the 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah? And then you have things like your güiro and your maracas, which kind of like in the background, not as prominent. This is what the güiro sounds. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. It's like this wooden thing with edges on it, and there's like a little stick, and then you rub that stick on top, and it kind of slides against those edges and it makes the sound. And then you have the maracas, which most people know what the maracas are like, yeah? And those are mainly your percussive instruments in salsa music. And then you have things like your bass, yeah? Which is a really cool instrument. Sounds There's a lot of different types of rhythms and sounds the bass play, and with kind of melody, there's a lot more, in my opinion, area for the musicians to play around with and to kind of freestyle. And it's not as definite. The sounds and the timing of it can mix up and play around a lot. But this is what the bass sounds like. And the last one is the piano, yeah, which plays montuno. The piano plays montuno, which is like a repeating pattern. Um, so basically, that's a little bit of overview of the salsa music composition of different instruments. I really suggest for you guys to either download this app, play around with it at home, just get an understanding of how things work. Um, or if you get a spare time, pick up an instrument. Pick up an instrument, play something, listen to salsa music, and try to pick at those instruments. Um, coming in and out of different sections of the song. All right, cool. Be tuned for the next video, which we're going to talk a little bit about the phases of the music.